I remember around 1972, we drive back into Houston at night. You pass the little town of Katy, which is a rice farming town. And for the next 10 miles, it was all rice fields. Until you got to Highway 6, you did not see an electric light. When we first went out there was no definition for the area. It was sort of referred to as Out Katy Freeway or past Memorial. And I got frustrated with that. So I thought, well, let's call this West Houston. Around 1972, we started acquiring land, starting at Highway 6, going west to Barker Cypress, about 2.6 miles of freeway frontage, 550 acres.
The area was certainly in its early stages of development. In addition to Wolf Morgan, the predecessor to Wolf Companies, having planted a stake in the corridor and started development of a business park. Some other developers had also started acquiring sites in the area, but most importantly, during the very early 70s, we had Shell and Conoco, and then Exxon started developing their suburban campuses. The fact that you had three major multinational energy companies headquartered there pretty much established it as the energy center of the energy capital of the world.
You have companies that want to be out there for the same reason that the energy companies want to be out there. It's very accessible, it's a pleasant part of the city, and it's close to where people live because of the school districts and because of the housing availability.
The vision of the energy corridor as part of the greater West Houston area was planned as a multi-use development that incorporated not only office but also light industrial research facilities, hotels, retail, apartments, or even more importantly for the region, high-quality world-class healthcare.
The population of West Houston now is well in excess of 1 million people. In many ways, it is a complete community. It's one reason we worked so hard to get Texas Children's to come out there. When I had heard that Texas Children's was considering building a new hospital in West Houston, I told our people, this has to happen. And then Mark Wallace at Texas Children's convinced Ron Girardo at Houston Methodist his hospital should be next to Texas Children's. That also then made MD Anderson focus on the area. The great thing about those healthcare facilities is that people can get world-class healthcare without having to make the trip to the Texas Medical Center.
As I've got to know these energy companies and they want a quality environment for their employees to work, they will talk about they want to make sure that it's convenient to get to work. Once they're there, it's a safe place for them, but there's other activities, and they're all health conscious with their own physical fitness facilities within their campuses and our trails that are right outside their door. Either their employees can ride their bikes to work, or when they're at the office, they can go for a jog on the bayou or just get outdoors and enjoy the neighborhood. And the neighborhoods have fantastic schools. We have great places of worship. The community environment out here is just a great place for a family to move and be close to work. We are fortunate to have a lot of land still to be developed, and with the new Park Grove project opening up over 100 acres on the north side of I-10, you're going to see a tremendous growth between State Highway 6 and Derry Ashford.
When David, working with the other members of the West Houston Association, started looking at planning for the West Houston area, identified the need for a parallel thoroughfare along I-10 to help take pressure from local traffic off of the freeway, and also to provide connectivity between all of the development that was occurring on the north side of the freeway. And so David identified the Park Grove Street as a major thoroughfare, put it on the major thoroughfare plan, which meant that successive developers on adjoining properties had to honor that street. They had to make sure it connected all the way through. And over time, that has occurred. David was responsible for the first section of Park Row ever being built back in 1973. And over time, it got built. And today, you can drive from Central Park all the way to the city of Katy without having to go to the freeway.
What's important about it is that Park Row opening now connects the east side of Langham Creek to the west side of Langham Creek, which puts you onto Derry Ashford, which gets you down to Memorial Drive, which takes you over to Highway 6 and brings you back to Park Row. So this fantastic loop system is going to connect a lot of people in the West Houston area.
No one developer could have done this by himself or herself. It's the fact that you've got Conoco and Shell and BP, Citgo, the fact that you have all the hospitals out there, the fact that you have the great developers out there, such as Newland, such as Howard Hughes doing Bridgelands, Larry Johnson and Johnson Development and what he has accomplished. If we hadn't had cooperative county officials and city officials to make this happen. So no one person takes the credit for it. No person was the godfather of West Houston. It was the fact that people all work together. I think this is very Houston.
I think the future of the area is very bright. You've got everything you could want out there. And I think everybody's going to be very pleased with what we've accomplished.